Dear students, welcome to Asynchronous Learning Platform, Indian Academy Degree College, Autonomous, Bengaluru. Dear students, I am Dr. C. Naveen Kumar from Department of Biochemistry, IADC-A. In my class you are all going to learn about human digestion process. Everyone first understand about divisions of the digestive systems. There are two divisions of the digestive system. One is alimentary tube and other is accessory organs. The alimentary tube extends from the mouth to the anus. It consists of the oral cavity, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, and large intestine. Digestion takes place within the oral cavity, stomach, and small intestine. Most absorption of nutrients takes place in the small intestine. Undigestible material, primarily cellulose, is eliminated by the large intestine, also called the colon. The accessory organs of digestion are the teeth, tongue, salivary glands, liver, gallbladder, and pancreas. Digestion does not take place within these organs, but each contributes something to the digestive process. First we will focus about oral cavity, pharynx and esophagus. Food enters the oral cavity, or buccal cavity, by way of the mouth. The function of the teeth is, of course, chewing. This is the process that mechanically breaks food into smaller pieces and mixes it with saliva. Elevation of the tongue is the first step in swallowing. This is a voluntary action, in which the tongue contracts and meets the resistance of the hard palate. The mass of food, called a bolus, is thus pushed backward toward the pharynx. The oropharynx and laryngopharynx are food passageways connecting the oral cavity to the esophagus. The esophagus is a muscular tube that takes food from the pharynx to the stomach. No digestion takes place here. Now we will focus on stomach. The stomach is located in the upper left quadrant of the abdominal cavity, to the left of the liver and in front of the spleen. Although part of the alimentary tube, the stomach is not a tube, but rather a sac that extends from the esophagus to the small intestine. Because it is a sac, the stomach is a reservoir for food, so that digestion proceeds gradually and we do not have to eat constantly. Both mechanical and chemical digestion take place in the stomach. The parts of the stomach: the cardiac orifice is the opening of the esophagus, and the fundus is the portion above the level of this opening. The body of the stomach is the large central portion, bounded laterally by the greater curvature and medially by the lesser curvature. The pylorus is adjacent to the duodenum of the small intestine, and the pyloric sphincter surrounds the junction of the two organs. The fundus and body are mainly storage areas, whereas most digestion takes place in the pylorus. When the stomach is empty, the mucosa appears wrinkled or folded. These folds are called rugae. They flatten out as the stomach is filled and permit expansion of the lining without tearing it. The gastric pits are the glands of the stomach and consist of several types of cells. Their collective secretions are called gastric juice. Mucus cells secrete mucus, which coats the stomach lining and helps prevent erosion by the gastric juice. Chief cells secrete pepsinogen, an inactive form of the enzyme pepsin. Parietal cells produce hydrochloric acid, HCl. These cells have enzymes called proton pumps, which secrete H+ ions into the stomach cavity. The H+ ions unite with Cl ions that have diffused from the parietal cells to form HCl in the lumen of the stomach. HCl converts pepsinogen to pepsin, which then begins the digestion of proteins to polypeptides, and also gives gastric juice its pH of 1 to 2. This very acidic pH is necessary for pepsin to function and also kills most microorganisms that enter the stomach. Parietal cells also secrete intrinsic factor, which is necessary for the absorption of vitamin B12. Enteroendocrine cells called G cells secrete the hormone gastrin. After stomach, the digestion process continues in the intestine. There are two divisions of intestine. One is small intestine and other is large intestine. The small intestine is about 2.5 cm in diameter and approximately 6 meters long and extends from the stomach to the cecum of the large intestine. Within the abdominal cavity, the large intestine encircles the coils of the small intestine. Digestion is completed in the small intestine, and the end products of digestion are absorbed into the blood and lymph. Most absorption of the end products of digestion takes place in the small intestine. The process of absorption requires a large surface area, which is provided by several structural modifications of the small intestine. The large intestine, also called the colon, is approximately 6.3 cm in diameter and 1.5 meters in length. It extends from the ileum of the small intestine to the anus, the terminal opening. No digestion takes place in the colon. The functions of the colon are the absorption of water, minerals, and vitamins and the elimination of undigestible material. The vitamins absorbed are those produced by the normal flora, the trillions of bacteria that live in the colon. In today's class, I hope all of you understood the concept of human digestive system. Suppose if you have any doubts or clarifications you can contact me through this email id. Thank you for watching my video.